Earlier today, Yiaga Africa gave a midday briefing on the progress of the election. While it was noted that there was cases of vote buying in some polling units, Yiaga Africa commended INEC for the timely distribution of election materials and the commencement of the exercise.
Yiaga Africa observers noted the early arrival of INEC officials in the polling units observed. Our findings reveal that INEC officials arrived at 71%, as we earlier stated, of the polling units by 7:30 a.m. And by 9:30 a.m., accreditation and voting had commenced in 91% of the polling units. Yiaga Africa observed and noted adequate deployment of election materials like register of voters, voting cubicle, official stamp, ink pad, and indelible ink. In the open polling units observed, Yiaga Africa also noted the deployment of sensitive materials for persons living with disability.
Joining me now is Festus Ojewunmi, who is Program Manager with Justice, Development and Peacemaker Center. He's an observer of the Ondo election. Thank you for joining us on TVC News at 10. We're hearing a lot about early deployment of materials, how the beavers performed today, and of course the issue of voter inducement. What do you consider the highlight of this election based on the things you've observed today?
All right, thank you very much for having me. In terms of the early opening of polls, actually from Justice Development and Peacemaker Center, we actually confirmed that too. As a matter of fact, there are some polling units that actually started, that opened earlier before 8:30, the stipulated time by INEC. We observed that some polling units actually started like 8:20 or thereabout. So in terms of the early opening of polls, we actually commend INEC for that. And also in terms of the logistics, it's highly credible for INEC to have deployed that. But talking about in terms of vote buying, actually it's disheartening with the way the issue of vote buy turned into. I remember vividly in the year 2020, the common slogan was Diboko Shebe, and that one actually came from political parties. But in some of the polling units witnessed earlier today, the slogan has changed. It has changed to Ati Shebe. You know, this was actually coming from the electorate with the way they actually transacting in terms of collecting money from within the range of 10,000. There are some places 5,000. We even witnessed some places 2,000, some 5,000, and it's disheartening because gone are those days when they actually practice this issue of vote buying secretly. But you know, electorates are now having the boldness. Electorates are now having the boldness to collect money. Also, political parties are now having the courage to actually give money. From our situation rooms, we recorded a lot of it today, and as a matter of fact, not only that, this thing needs to, security operative actually needs to rise to occasion too, because we cannot actually continue this way. Because this issue of vote buying is now a cankerworm. I remember in one of the multi-stakeholders that we organized with relevant stakeholders before this election, it has been termed a cankerworm that has actually hitten deep into the fabrics of our democracy, and things needs to actually something must be done in order to tame this issue of vote buying, because it will not actually take us to anywhere.
Mr. Ojewunmi, we understand that there are 4 policemen attached to each polling unit. I'm wondering the kind of engagement they had with this open display of voter inducement, and how much of voter education do you think has gone in, you know, on the part of civil society organizations like the one you represent?
Yeah, thank you. Actually, a lot has been done in terms of engagement, in terms of civic engagement. I will cite some examples as civil society organizations like ours that we've done. Like last week, like I said, we actually organized high-level multi-stakeholder dialogue. I remember the IPAC chairman of Ondo State was there, and the remaining 18 political party chairmen were there, religious leaders were there, Iyalojas were there, a representative of INEC, also to talk about the need to actually shun these the menace of vote buying. Not only that, civil society organization, we actually produce jingle in 7 local dialects in Ondo State, talking about Owo, Ilaje, Akure, Ikale, that we ran this jingle periodically to actually sensitize people on the need for them to shun votes by. And it's actually very important. A lot of effort had actually gone into this issue of votes by, and there is need for behavioral change among the electorates, because the money, the stipend, so to say, they receive from political parties, from politicians, cannot actually solve their problem. As a matter of fact, another thing we discover now at the polling units now is we have the party agents that are registered with INEC, but at the same time we discover that there is another money agent, so to say, at the polling units. There's a place of party agents, there's a place of money agents. You know, the strategies in which politicians is now has actually come up with on this issue of votes by is actually disheartening. And that is why everybody, civil society organization, the government itself must actually rise in order to curtail this, because it's actually one of the things that that is not actually promoting us well I hear you clearly. In the world, because take for instance like Ondo State today, all eyes was in Ondo State, and it's actually so disheartening.
I'm afraid that's our time. It's either we're not doing enough in the area of efforts, or the voters are adamant. But thank you so much for your thought in this regard. Program Manager, Justice Development and Peacemaker Center, Festus Ojewunmi. We're itching to know what's happening at the State Collation Center. Senior reporter Ibrahim Alege is also standing by. We'll be talking to him shortly after this break.